Hello, I'm Dave. I'm rather ill and super jet lagged from CES.
And I'm Jacob, and I feel fine.
Lucky. I just lost all my money gambling at Las Vegas last week, but don't worry too much because I managed to steal this rather weird Razer laptop to pay off my debts. And also, while I was skulking around CES, I managed to find some rather interesting ticky things that you guys might find interesting.
So here's everything that transpired over at CES this year. I'd also like to mention I had nothing to do with this weird laptop theft. Frankly immoral.
First up, it's Chipzilla. Intel introduced a whole bunch of new chips at CES this year, starting out with the Intel Kaby Lake G series processors. So these are the hybrid AMD Intel chips sporting the Vega M graphics processor.
Intel are looking to knock Nvidia off their mobile GPU perch, and it looks like they may just do it, at least at the low end. There are two variants of the Vega M graphics initially on offer, Vega M GH and Vega M GL, essentially graphics high and graphics low. The top tier i7 only chip has a 100 watt TDP, while the lower end chip only has a 65 watt TDP.
Intel have released new benchmarks on the performance we can expect from these hybrid chips, albeit hand-picked themselves. The top-end chip scores on average 10% better performance than Nvidia's own GTX 1060 Max-Q design.
That's pretty impressive for the single chip solution, even considering the 10% performance drop you can expect with a Max-Q design over its full-fat brethren. Performance of these chips could end up being similar to a $1,500 plus gaming laptop.
So one of the new Vega M laptops that was shown off at CES was the Dell XPS 15 2-in-1. So that's one sporting the Core i7-8705G, and that's the 20CU version, so that's the lower spec version. But what it does offer is pretty decent sort of 720p gaming performance.
We will see how great a proposition these chips will be once pricing has been revealed, but for now let's move on to Intel's other big announcement that they've doubled the qubits of their previous superconducting quantum chip.
So only 2 months after delivery of their 17-qubit quantum chip to a research centre in the Netherlands, Intel have finished up work on a 49-qubit chip. That is still short of the million or more qubits that Intel Labs VP Mike Mabry deems necessary for commercial relevance.
We're still a long way off, but tech moves very quickly when in a tight spot, and Moore's Law won't last forever. This isn't the only announcement that Intel made on developing tech, however. Confirming Intel's refocus to machine learning and big data, Intel have revealed a neuromorphic AI chip designed to function similarly to a brain.
This chip, codenamed Loihi, is built with over 130,000 neurons and another 130,000 synapses. This allows it to learn from patterns and associations, fueling high performance and power efficient AI intelligence.
Terrified of AI before, now they think just like us.
I wouldn't worry though, we're still a long way off the mysteries of the human brain. For now.
On to AMD.
Rumours have been spreading like wildfire across the web about the next generation of Ryzen, the codenamed Pinnacle Ridge. So is it going to be February, is it going to be March? Well, not quite.
AMD have finally confirmed the launch window for their 12nm Ryzen refresh, April. These chips are already being sampled to manufacturers as we speak and will be gracing store shelves soon.
This 12nm process node is expected to bring with it some higher clock speeds and a greater efficiency. These will be paired with new iterations of AMD's Precision Boost and extended frequency range features too, which will aid in hitting higher clock speeds for longer and probably in games too. Precision Boost used to only kick in when 2 cores were being used, but with the updated version, it will be enabled even when all CPU cores are in use.
In short, this is all good news for gamers, but that's not all. AMD are also releasing 2 new desktop APUs in February, set to replace the Ryzen 5 1400 and Ryzen 3 1200 in the lineup. These 2 new APUs are the Ryzen 5 2400G and Ryzen 3 2200G.
I'm sure they didn't use the G suffix just to screw with Intel's Kaby Lake G, just a coincidence there.
Just like how X370 and Z370 are oddly similar. Deja vu, I suppose.
Anyways, the new Raven Ridge desktop APUs feature either 8 or 11 compute units in the Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5 respectively, and they both run at a 65 watt TDP.
AMD are introducing a fresh-faced 400 series chipset too. Don't worry if you aren't ready to part with your 300 series motherboard, as Raven Ridge and Ryzen 2 compatibility is only a simple BIOS update away. These updates should be on the way from all AM4 manufacturers alongside the Raven Ridge APUs in February, and these boards will be indicated by a Ryzen Desktop 2000 ready sticker.
As if that wasn't enough, AMD have also dropped the price of their current first generation Ryzen lineup too. The price drop is CPU model dependent, but it's worth checking out the current deals on your ideal CPU as AMD are clearing house before the new chips enter the fray.
Anyways, that was only CPUs and motherboards. What about Vega? It seems that dreams of a 12nm Vega refresh have evaporated, despite AMD announcing that they're going to release a 7nm Vega product later in the year.
What?
Yep, it's not what you think. The new Vega card is going to be manufactured on AMD's upcoming 7nm process, but will only be materializing in a Radeon Instinct machine learning focused card.
We may see discrete Vega mobile chips making their way into gaming laptops sometime this year, however.
While that isn't the best news, the good news is that AMD must surely be releasing a new range of gaming cards during 2018, right?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't necessarily be too sure about that unless it's a Polaris refresh at 12nm.
Nvidia like to play their cards close to their chest, so Volta, Ampere, whatever you want to call it, we still don't have a launch date yet.
Yes, that's the bad news. The good news is that Nvidia announced some ginormous 4K G-Sync HDR gaming screens, the aptly named BFGD. So that stands for Big Format. I didn't say I said format. Oh, come on. The big format gaming displays come with an Nvidia shield built in and enough peak luminance to blind an entire generation. Funnily enough, when the FCC aren't gaining notoriety and infamy across the globe, they are busy telling Nvidia that they can't class the BFGDs as TVs because they don't have a tuner installed. Who even uses a tuner nowadays?
Asus, Acer and HP are all supposedly bringing these BFGDs to market in the summer, although we've heard this before with G-Sync HDR monitors from the last CES.
Speaking of G-Sync HDR monitors, Nvidia have confirmed to us that the 27-inch models will finally go on sale in Q1 this year, and the 34-inch ultra-wides will go on sale in Q2. AU Optronics was supposedly going into production of these panels back at the end of 2017, so this aligned nicely with the new release dates.
CES isn't all about big conferences and keynotes, however. There are plenty of fantastic products that have been unveiled throughout the week, so here are just a few that piqued our interest.
Yeah, we'd be here all day if we were covering every single thing that was released at the show, but leave us a comment down below for any upcoming tech you've seen from the show that you're excited about.
HTC made a big announcement with their new and improved Vive Pro headset. This features new 2880 by 1600 OLED screens for each eye, which provides much needed improvements to pixel density and image sharpness. The new headset will also include built-in headphones, one of the surprisingly convincing features of the Oculus Rift.
HTC also confirmed the new wireless adapter, which will untether the whole VR experience. It's now easier than ever to wander into traffic as you wield a magical VR sword or beat down oncoming hordes of rogue robots.
Zotac have garnered our attention with their $200 external GPU enclosure, which should be an affordable way to supercharge your laptop while at home.
Yeah, the Zotac AmpBox Mini is only capable of powering a GTX 1060 thanks to its limited power supply, but that should still be enough to turn your slimline laptop into a 1080p gaming machine.
Cooler Master have announced a wide range of cases, coolers and peripherals, but none stood out more than their Master Air G100M, a UFO-esque heat column design that enables this compact cooler to reach a TDP of 130 watts. The design features full RGB LED lighting and is somewhat of an acquired taste in design. It's definitely different, and for that reason alone, it's getting a thumbs up from us.
Corsair are taking on Logitech with some wireless charging tech, as are Razer for that matter too. Corsair are releasing their Dark Core RGB SE mouse and the MM1000 mouse mat at the end of January.
Unlike Logitech PowerPlay, Corsair are using Qi charging with their mouse mat and mouse. This means you'll have to leave your mouse in one specific area to charge, but the plus side is you can use the same circular area to charge your phone and other Qi compatible devices too.
Razer have brought another new prototype to CES with them this year, although I heard it revived in a wooden chest locked with 3 magical locks. Each member of the Razer CES booth team took 1 key each, and only when all 3 recited the incantation and turned their keys in perfect unison with the chest open to reveal Project Linda.
Project Linda is essentially a husk of a laptop that has the trackpad carved out of it. In its stead is the Razer phone-shaped hole. Once the phone is docked, its Android OS is shared onto the laptop's 13.3-inch 120Hz touchscreen and controllable through the Razer Chroma keyboard.
Of course, this is pretty unlikely to ever make it to market. While other manufacturers and users are fans of docking stuff into other stuff, it seems unlikely that Project Linda will have much in the way of market share. Maybe it's just a little too out there, or maybe just no one's buying these phones. Interesting though.
We're not quite done yet. NZXT have stepped into new unmarked territory with their latest venture, the N7 Z370 motherboard. Yep, NZXT have gone into the motherboard market, and it looks exactly how you would imagine an NZXT board to look.
If you're after clean professional aesthetics, then you may have just found your motherboard. That is, of course, if you don't mind shelling out $300 for the privilege.
It's pricey and lacks a few key features we'd like to see on a board in that top tier price range. If you're a form over function person, however, then the board is on sale right now. Of
course, their motherboard would be something I'd like to see, or Logitech, or Razer, or Rockout.
Okay, I get it. Last but certainly not least are HyperX, who are unleashing their first wireless headset into the market. The Cloud Flights have an exceedingly long battery life at 30 hours, with the LEDs off, and a $170 price tag.
With HyperX's stellar record, we're hoping the Cloud Flight sets the bar high. It may very well be the wireless headset to beat in 2018. Well, that just about does it. CES 2018 kickstarted what will hopefully be a tech-filled year. We've laughed, we've cried.
Well, mostly Dave cried when they told him he couldn't bet his shoes for one last hand of poker.
Yeah, anyway, like and subscribe to the channel and check back on PCGamesN.com for more hardware and gaming good times. Oh, they're repossessing my cheap charging mat!
This bit's dead. Bye!